let's just get that straightened out. Okay. We're gonna go a little bit more that way. All right, so we got that. We got that. We're live on YouTube. Oh, wow. Let's just go check YouTube to make sure everything's working. I want to check. Adam Roberts, I hear good. Are you hearing on YouTube or are you hearing on, let's see. I'm checking the YouTube now. That just said watch live chats. That's it. There I am. I'm there. Let's see if I can hear. Are you hearing on? Yeah, there we are. We're live chat. Okay. Let's see. Turn that. Jefferson's Oceans. All right. Let's like that. Share. I'm going to share that to. I'm going to try sharing it to Twitter. Let's just see. We're live. Post. I never did a live post on Twitter, but we are there. So we're live on Twitter or an X. So let's go back to YouTube. All right. I'll hit that. Play. Yeah, there we are. All right. So it's just me tonight. We're on. So I'll get this whole party started real quick. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. Good. I'll monitor comments. Everybody, it's fine. I just hopefully it keeps up. That's good. Everybody's hearing good on YouTube on that. And we're going to get ready. I got to make sure. Let's see. We're hooked up there. Let's see if the Scotchy bourbon, let's just do a test run here. What do we got? We should have it. There's Apple Music. Let's see if it's going to give me it. So I got sound. Oh, let's go. All right. We did the test run. We got that going. That's running. So we could get going in a sec. All right, everybody. Welcome Facebook. Welcome YouTube. We are going to get going on the audio podcast in a second. The way it works is I'm here. What I'll do is there's going to be a 30-second spot for Alan Bishop's. If you have Ghost, you have everything. We also have the Spirit of French Lick as one of our sponsors, one of our original sponsors. They've been here since the start. They had some big news recently that Alan Bishop has gone to move on. I believe he was at the George Washington Museum or Distillery in Mount Vernon, Virginia today, doing some stuff he had put out there. So he's doing a little bit in between where he's eventually going to go, but I haven't heard much details. I know that Justin at the Spirit of French Lick, they had the gin release for the Eclipse, which was very big, successful. The Eclipse in French Lick, Indiana, was one of the best viewing places to view the Eclipse yesterday. It was in the path of totality. It's just amazing how bad my memory is, or with names and everything like that. It's amazing. It's not as bad as my writing, so that's cool. So that's why I do a podcast, because I'm not a good writer. And then also we have our new sponsor, Jason Giles, Rosewood Bourbon and Rye. There's also they have an Indiana version and a Kentucky version of those bourbons, and those are very spectacular. I'll try it one more time. Nope, this meeting is being live streamed. I don't want to leave the meeting, and then everything's good. So let's see. I can go down here, hit this little green button, and then pick it, and everybody can see the Rosewood Bourbon. Yeah, we're at Rosewood Bourbon. I'm pretty sure it's right there. There you go. That's when Jason initially sent these up so I could sample them and then have him on the podcast initially, they were very good. So when he mentioned that he wanted to sponsor the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, I definitely was on board for that. So that's where we're at there. Let's see, stop sharing. We're back here. Yeah, we're going to get going. So we did the Rosewood Bourbon thing. We did the if you have ghosts. Also, Alan Bishop's has a One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute on YouTube that you need to check out too, because 100% that is pretty cool. If you like distilling, he answers questions and really covers into the nerdy, geeky side of distilling. I mean, he goes into depth, into fermentation, anything. You got a question about capturing yeast or whatever, he'll answer it. So very cool YouTube program that Alan has there too. All right, so what'll happen is there's going to be a 30-second pause while I get the recording going. That was not supposed to happen. Things just happen all the time. Subscribe. Oh, come on. What the heck? Oh, in terms of certified best purchase, restore purchase. What the heck? I don't understand what is going on. That just makes no sense. Yeah, thanks. What the living crap? Select. Yeah, just more crap to happen. What? Let's see. Terms of service. I don't understand why I need to subscribe. I am subscribed. Privacy policy. Did my internet crash? That's the only thing that could. I'm on there. Am I locked up? No. But it's not going to do. Okay. Come on. Subscribe. Restore purchase. All right. Here we go. All right. Privacy, terms of service, privacy policy. Why can't I get this? All right. Here's the privacy policy. And then what is going on? Okay. So that doesn't, I don't need that. Let's get that off. Yeah. It's always good when you get, oh my God. All right, let's go back to terms of service. I read, and then do I have to go down here and hit the thing? Okay. That's just crazy that I'm running into this problem. And then restore purchase. Oceans. All right, let's podcast studio. I'm going to have to reset the podcast. Quit podcast studio and go right podcast studio. Now let's go back into podcast. Let's go in. I could do this. This is nuts. I mean, the ultimate in. All right, where is it? It should be right here. Download podcasts. Yep, here it is. Oceans should just open back up. Perfect. Oh, start recording. What is going on? So I'm ready to go. Here we go. Let's go. Skip. There we go. 45 minutes. Start countdown. That was easy, folks. but we're telling the truth. Yeah, we're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, raising hell and making some noise. Yeah, we're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. We're here to have fun and we hope you enjoy. We're here to have fun. Yeah. All right. Welcome back to another podcast of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. I'm Tiny here tonight, here to welcome everybody to the podcast. I've just been having very interesting technical difficulties, that's for sure. One, all of a sudden, my subscription was telling me that it wasn't working. All of a sudden now, while I'm playing this, I'm watching this glitch. I saw Jamie was here. Greg Schneider's here. Good to see you. Haven't seen Walker tonight yet, but hopefully he can join us. And then tonight, Super Nash is laying floor. CT is coming back from a barrel pick in Kentucky. Whiskey is doing his thing that he always does, asking me questions about something, but then gets it answered by someone else. There you go. And then there is, we're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. I'm Tiny, www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all things Scotchy Bourbon Boys, Glencairns. And also we have t-shirts, and we also have bottle openers, and we refrigerator magnet bottle openers that look like barrel heads. And we also have Kentucky bourbon balls, which are fantastic, that we make to order. So check out that on the website. Everything the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. We're going to be doing some upgrading. It's just like the podcast and the Facebook and the YouTube have all been doing so good. A lot of time goes into this, and I'm hoping to have more time. I keep doing it. But I just wanted to give a shout out to the Spirit of French Lick for what they just released that Psych gin on the Eclipse, and Justin is there now. Can't wait to go down there and see him as the head distiller. Hopefully that's what it's going to be. I think that's what it's going to be. The Spirit of French Lick has been with us for the beginning, and I'm hoping to keep going forward, promoting that fantastic whiskey and bourbon that they make down there, along with their gins and their absinthes and their they distill a lot at that distillery. And then also got to mention Rosewood Bourbon, Kentuckian style bourbon. It's really kind of a cool thing what Jason Giles is doing there. As we go forward, they are now our sponsor, and I will be putting up and doing some voiceovers coming up. But in the meantime, we'll mention them, and if you see it, I will quick for everybody. If you see Rosewood Bourbon on the shelf, I strongly suggest you get it. The reason why we took Jason and Rosewood on is because what I was able to taste was fantastic, and I look forward to their sponsorship. And then also we are on all the major podcast formats, iHeartRadio, we're on Apple Podcasts, and then also Spotify podcasts. Whatever you listen to, ask Alexa, ask Siri, to play us, they'll play us. We're there. Check it out. It's been really kind of interesting lately. We've been being approached by an awful lot of sponsorship opportunities. And the one that I just took advantage of is the Cigador right here. It's your personal single cigar humidor. This works out great. This worked out great for me for the Eclipse. It keeps it 70 degrees in there. It keeps it 70% humidity. You basically drop a drop of water, hit it to 70. The top screws off. You drop your cigar in, close it back up. And for up to 2 weeks, it's going to keep this So if you're going golfing or on a golfing trip, and it's TSA approved, so that's really kind of cool. The Sigador. This is something that I've got a hold of and I've already used and enjoyed it. So you can use the SB10 code at sigador.com. Check it out. I can throw up, I believe I actually have. Let's see where my I'm looking real quick. I'm pretty sure, is that it? No, there should be an OHLQ one. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Yep, that's it. Oh, Safari. Yep, okay, here we go. That is right there. So let's get that up. OHLQ, and I'm pretty sure it's right. Nope, that's not it. Not it. There it is. Look at how awesome that particular that is. I mean, I've got the tactical series, which comes in all different colors, but they've got those wood series. I mean, it is a really kind of cool thing. So, and I am at thesigador.com, so check them out. And use the code SB10 to get it, and you get 10% off. That's kind of like what I was hoping for. So, with that said, it's time to get going. So, what should we do? All right. So, one of the topics tonight is OHLQ is having their bottle lottery, and once again, there's an aspect of this that I wanted to talk about with everybody, especially if you're on Facebook. If you're from the state of Ohio, you can enter the state of Ohio for their high-end bottles. All have some really cool. Um, uh, Everyone is a really it's like the antique collection for Buffalo Trace will be in it, and the Wellers and the barrel proof Taylor sometimes, and sometimes all different things are in it. But this bottle lottery right here that we're dealing with, and I'm going to go back to the Sigador one because I know that's where the bottle lottery is. And let's pick up the bottle lottery. I think it was not there, not there. Sigador's. Wait, that makes no sense. I had that up. There it is, OHLQ bottle lottery. So this bottle lottery this time that just came out, the last drop for four, yeah. Yes, I don't listen. There's a lot of cool things that came out on this. Okay, and I'm going to go through them, and you get to pick and choose what you want. And as a bourbon collector, there's a Heaven Hill Heritage Collection Second Edition, $289.99. Now, see this lottery, if you win it, you get the right to buy the bottle. Lots of people in the state of Ohio, I know people actually, Nate came over with his bottle of the antique collection, Thomas Handy, collection. And he, no matter what, my family just doesn't understand. I consistently accept, especially my son, he knows that I go Tuesday at 8:30 and Thursday at 8:30 live unless I'm out of town. And they notoriously just right in the middle of it. I want to, it's kind of torture. I want to talk to my grandson. He is just 9 months old, or 8 months old. And it's sad to me that I can't answer because I'm podcasting, but it's like, don't torture me, my son. Anyways, and then there's the King of Kentucky, $299.99. That's there. Michter's 25-year Kentucky straight bourbon, basically 1,500, $14.99.99. Now, just for the hell of it, $14.99.99. Seriously, $1,500, but that's 25-year Michter's. I'm going to be in for that bottle. There also is a Michter's single barrel, a 20-year for $1,149.99. So now you're talking about $1,150. I'm in for that. Now there's the Mr. Sam Tribute Whiskey, $299.99. I don't even know what that is. I'm clicking it. I don't know. Okay, Old Fitzgerald bottled in bond, 10-year decanter, $139.98. That's a 10-year. That's good. Old Fitzgerald 19-year bottled in bond decanter, $239.97. It's going to be more than that at the distillery. I'm in for that. Old Forester birthday bourbon, $179.99. Signing up for that. Parker's Heritage Collection 17th edition 10-year rye, $184.98. Of course, who wouldn't do it? The Last Drop signature, Van Winkle Family Reserve 13-year rye, $170. Absolutely, right? Now comes what Jamie just was talking about. Old Sam is Sazerac, I think. Okay, thanks for that, Jamie. The Last Drop Signature Blend by Drew Mayville. Okay, so Jamie has introduced me to Drew, and I'm talking with Drew to go back and forth. Greg Schneider has mentioned Drew. Harlan Wheatley is the master distiller at Buffalo Trace, but Drew Mayville is the master blender. And Drew hasn't had much notoriety. I mean, it's not like it's a common name when you're talking about it. So the Last Drop Signature Blend by Drew Mayville, $4,000. Now, this is a dilemma. I mean, honestly, it's a dilemma. I mean, what? $4,000? I get it. It's great. I would love to have this bottle, but I don't even think I can enter it because spending $4,000, half a barrel of bourbon if you buy a barrel, $4,000. Now, Jamie said it's really good, but $4,000, I don't know if I can actually. I imagine myself winning that bottle and maybe having to pass on it because one, I just don't have 4,000 cash laying around for a single bottle. I would have to buy that bottle and not buy bourbon for like a year. I could do it, but at the same time, I don't know if I could open it. I don't know if I could drink it. I paid $5,000 for my first car. A whole car was $5,000. One bottle of bourbon, $4,000. Now, yeah, Jamie, yes. But I mean, from a standpoint of what people do with these type bottles, I'm sure if you got this and won this, there would be somebody out there that would want to take it off your hands. And that's the reason why some people do this. So I understand this is it undermines the secondary market by making it already a secondary price, but I disagree with that thought process. I guarantee you it's not undermining the secondary market. They're trying. I mean, it's something, that they put out and they whatever, and then people are buying, Pappy Van Winkles for $2,500 or $3,000 or $4,000. I've seen a 23 for $8,999 in Florida. So where they can do that at a liquor store. So, but this bottle here is really, really a dilemma for me because it's Drew Mayville. I mean, he is responsible for a lot of what Buffalo Trace puts out and the taste and picking those barrels and the maturation and all that with it's bizarre. They just released Harlan Wheatley's first bottle on the Traveler with Chris Stapleton, and Harlan got a $40 bottle. And now they're releasing the Last Drop Signature Blend by Drew Mayville, and he gets a $4,000 bottle. It's very confusing to me. Now, OHLQ has all these out, and I understand it's not their fault that Buffalo Trace is putting it there, and they're doing such a good job. Buffalo Trace is feeding this up to us. Yeah, and it's like I would love to try it with Drew, and if we get on, you're coming with me, Jamie, because I've been talking to him, tried to see him this weekend, and that wasn't going to happen. So anyways, so there you go. That's our bottle lottery. I signed up for everything except the $4,000 one. If you're listening to this or you see this later, let me know. Make a comment. Tell me whether you're going to do the $4,000 one Would you do the $4,000 one? Are you doing the $4,000 one? Are you in it for four? Can you? I mean, what kind of a person can afford $4,000 on one bottle of bourbon? It's a certain type of person. I don't know if I'm that person, but I know when I signed up, I skipped that one. I think $1,500 for that Michter's 25-year was kind of my cutoff, and it's still uh, Jamie was talking about his wife Lacey would kill him. Well, my wife would kill me on the $1,500 bottle one. We would have to have a discussion. That hurts, but not as much as a $4,000 bottle one. And she'd be like, she knows me. I just put it someplace, and it would be here. It'd be part of the collection. And yeah, it's a great investment, but it's also an investment. You know, you can invest in a diamond or something like that, or a swimming pool. I don't know. So that I was very curious about this. That is a very curious bottle lottery. I'm excited about it. All the ones, the old Fitzgerald, 19-year, that's awesome, and the Pappy Family Reserve Rye 13-year 170, that I think is a steal, and I would definitely. That has the label, the Pappy Van Winkle label that I always tribute to wanting. So that would be awesome to be able to get that bottle too. All right, so good job, OHLQ. I can't wait. I myself have entered, and I'm trying to get other people in my family to enter, and we'll see where we go from there. All right, so that brings us to the next part. All right, let's take down the OHLQ. Put me back on. Let's go. There we go. I'm back up. We're going to be doing the Jefferson's Oceans. You all can see I'm wearing a nice Jefferson's Oceans. I'm wearing a nice Jefferson's Oceans t-shirt. And I've got Voyage 29, and I believe the other Voyage I have is, I'm sure it's what I got this up. Let's see, aged at, let's see, that is 20, there, 29. There it is. It is 25. I got 25 and 29. Now, I don't know if everybody knows about Jefferson's Ocean. So that's one thing. Again, on the share screen, I can bring this up real quick. Let's do it. Share screen. Hit that, and I will take us to the ocean. Sigador. Simple. Yep, there it is. Voyage 29. So Jefferson Oceans, if you really want, the story is, and I'll bring it up first. Let's go. Jefferson Oceans, founder Trey Zeller, plus Bourbon Pursuit. Reflect on the past 25. They do that with that. Visit us. The Kentucky, no, come on, about us. Founded in 1997, Jefferson's is the brainchild of Trey Zeller and his father, Chet. A famed bourbon historian, they were continuing a family whiskey tradition that goes back to the Trey's 8th generation grandmother, who was arrested in 1799 for the production and sales of spirituous liquors. His curious and experimental mindset has allowed him to push the boundaries of bourbon whiskey, upholding tradition, yet always discovering new possibilities. They do this at the Kentucky Artesian Distillery in Kentucky. We stopped by. One of our good friends, Ben Eves, works there, and we like to do that. They are constantly making bourbon there, but they're making the Jeffersons. But this particular, let's go. There you go. Voyage. So what they did is they took hard to put events like this for our people in Ohio. Yeah, Trey and Chet, they're in the Bourbon Hall of Fame, but they started this bringing a barrel on board. One of Trey's friends ran ocean killer whale tagging company. He would go around, and he took one of the barrels on one time. He asked to ask them to take a barrel with, and the results were quite fascinating. And the history of putting bourbon and whiskey on the water is constantly throughout the history. I mean, the ships would bring rum in barrels and whiskey in barrels in the 1700s, and it would definitely give good results. What happens with that sloshing around? Sometimes the seawater hitting that barrel and rough, way times on the ocean. That makes all the difference in doing something like this. It changes the flavor. Plus, the sloshing opposed to sitting in heat. And when you're out on the ocean like they are now, and right now they send them out on in containers on the vessels and send the vessels around. So those ocean containers go out for 8-9 months. They come and they bring that container back. It's got to be shipped to the port from Kentucky Artisan Distillery. Then it's got to go on its voyage, and then it's got to be shipped back for bottling. So it's a really, really cool, what would you say, thing. And now this, I had Voyage 29 up. I'm going to bring it up right here. This is what I'm tasting tonight. It's really kind of cool. They tell you what it was, where it goes, but you can in this little video part, let's scroll up as high as I can so everybody can see it. That voyage went started started on the East Coast, went down through the Panama Canal into the Pacific, around to Hawaii, around Australia, then back up onto the eastern coast by Japan, and then came back around northern. It wasn't as north as Canada, but Tacoma, Washington. So let's see. Started out Savannah, Georgia. Then it was moderate seas down to Manzanillo, Panama. Then they had rough seas, and then Tahiti. Then it was the nice weather conditions. Auckland, New Zealand, Sydney, Australia, and then Melbourne. Then the sea conditions encountered mild sea. Then they went back up to Fremantle, Australia. Then they came up to, come on, why does it keep doing that? It came up, they had rough seas, and then they hit Singapore, and then they hit Shanghai, China, Masan, South Korea, Yokohama, Japan. Then they had experienced smooth sailing to Tacoma, Washington, then Long Beach, California. And then that was, once they're in Long Beach, they finished up voyage, entered the Panama Canal again, moderate seas, and then back to Georgia. So that's the voyage. And this voyage was pretty calm for this 29. Now I'm going to take us off here, go back. Yep, there we go. So this voyage is a wheated voyage. And out of all the Jeffersons, they're very different. So the first one I'm going to do is taste the 25. This one, and when I look at this, it seems a little bit lighter. This voyage, what I don't know much about it, but I picked up this one, and this is a straight bourbon whiskey, very small batch. So I'm gonna have that, and this is a rye, and I'm gonna have a taste of that. And this has been sitting for a while. Now, the one thing I want to say is some people like to say that this is a gimmick. That's one thing that they say over and over: gimmick, 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 gimmick. That's all I hear is gimmick, gimmick, gimmick. And the history, once again, throughout time, it's been on seaward ships because they brought it for the crew. This isn't now. When you're sending it out in a container on the high seas, and it's a shipping container and the barrels are in there. When it's on the ocean and it's calm, that sun beats down, even in the wintertime, and it heats that up in there. So those barrels get hot, and then they get cold, and then they hit those northern parts. And so there's a lot of in and out and sloshing around inside that barrel on these trips. I wouldn't be surprised if, based off of storms and everything, that you lose some. Now, one of the voyages, I believe it was 17 or 18, had very rough waters, and you could taste the salt water that penetrated those barrels. So, but this 25, I always look for a little calmer. And if there's anything, now see, I like that's a really good one. Very nice, very nice. So the 25, super. It's been sitting for a little bit. It's been a while since that's been out. But that voyage, I remember reading about it. There was a little bit of something, some storms here, storms there, and they kind of tell you about it. And it started out in cold in the winter and then dropped to the south. And it was in the Atlantic and then came back after 8 months. And it's a pretty good batch. I do agree. Now, state of Ohio did a barrel pick of this, and it tasted like French toast. It was one of my favorite bottles ever. So they do sell off single barrels, and that's what we're going to cover right now. As far as there is this part of the 29, which my wife loves. This is the regular batch 29. This voyage, this is very delicious. I'm just gonna have a little bit. It's one of her favorites. And the actual batch is fantastic. If anybody, you run across it, not the barrel pick, I'm telling you the batch. And this batch, the wheated batch, way more sugar, caramel. It's got like a maple syrup, like a pancake. I mean, it's like so good. Now, I've opened up. So thanks to Walker. Yes. Hey, Walker. Good to see that you're watching. The 29, we have a couple barrel picks of we at the party store. And I want to say I also have an OHLQ pick of this. Thanks to whiskey. So I had two of barrel 35. Barrel 35 was the better of the two barrels in the state. I was able to get two of them. But let's see what happened now that, hey. Let's see what happened to this one. Here we are. I want to see what that 35's done now that it's been open a little bit. Sometimes when you're talking about a barrel pick at, I want to say, let's see what the proof was. That didn't help me. Would be nice, but I'll put, yeah, let's see if putting on the glasses will help me see in the dark. It does. The 90 proof on the barrel proof too. Is it 90 proof on this barrel? Yep. So if you're going to do a barrel pick of Jefferson's Oceans, it's going to be 90 proof. So here we go. The 25 was good. The 29 is great. I want to see what the barrel pick was. A little bit more oak, but this has aged nicely. Still, that particular barrel is good, but not as good as the original batch. The original batch has been fantastic. Now we're going to try the Party Source batch, the Party Store. It's been open a while. I want to see what. Here we go. Thank you. We got that going too. Let's see what happens. Ah, that's a good one. That's right up there. That's right up there. So, what I'm saying is, with each voyage, they throw out batches. Now, I found that the weeded batches have been fantastic. The weeded bourbon batches. Uh, I don't know what, but like once again, is it a gimmick? I don't think so. I mean, honestly, bourbon was made by putting it in a charred oak barrel and then shipping it down the Mississippi to New Orleans. And when you think about that, it's like that sloshing around on the river aged that. It wasn't being shoved in rick houses, or if it was in rick houses, it was sitting there for 2, 3 years maybe, and then put on a boat and shipped down, or a barge and shipped down the Mississippi River. And that was not a short ride. So every day, every night, if there was bad weather, it's not like the barrels came off the barge or the boat or whatever they were shipping it on. They sat there and sloshed around, picked up the rainwater, picked up the elements, did all that. And then when they got there, people were so excited about it because it tasted so good. So that char that was in there and everything, I'm sure you had to filter it a little bit more with all the, it's kind of violent inside the barrel, but it's something how the beginning roots of bourbon happened. So to put it out on the sea, let it slosh around, pick up heat on that open water, and then some of the storms, and in some cases pick up other stuff. So who knows? I don't think it's a gimmick. I actually like it. I have some of the Jefferson stuff that doesn't go out there. And one of the things that, let me just quick grab the one bottle I have. It's the Pritchard's. Ah, I actually love this brand's packaging. I do. This was the Twin Oak, the Jefferson's Reserve Twin Oak single barrel, and it was an OHLQ exclusive from 2022. Now, I'm going to put this in there, and I'm pretty sure it's vastly different, because if you're going to get that kind of flavor, you actually, in a rick house, you're going to need to do more aging at those rick house. Yeah. Hey, Matt, good that you're watching. Nice, thanks for watching. So I'm picking up just a little bit more oak. That's it. It's pretty similar. That's nice. It's a nice pour. So what they're doing at the Kentucky Artesian Distillery with the Jeffersons and the Jefferson Oceans, and what they're doing is fantastic. I'm not going to say that it's not. So that's a pretty cool thing that they're doing. So I think we covered it pretty well. I hope so. If anybody has any questions, ask away. Um, but I do have one more thing to cover because we got a little bit of time here. That's not always the case. Bourbon Plus is out. That's really kind of cool. I thought that was a cool thing. And one of the things that was in here, and I'm pretty sure, is, oh, let's see. I don't know. So I'm gonna find it. I didn't mark it off. I just saw it today. I love this magazine because it's everything whiskey and bourbon that I want. And there's, the articles are so interesting. And, science of proofing whiskey. I mean, that in itself, there's so much that you can do to proof the whiskey. And then the Bourbon Trail and Bourbon Tourism. They've got the mint julep experiences, and, you know, uh, There's lots of different things. We do the Kentucky Bourbon Boys. All right, let's see if I can find what I want. I'm pretty sure it was in here. I saw it today. It's risky lessons learned in the bourbon business. Make a beeline to the Beeline. That's what it was. So the Beeline is the Northern Kentucky curated collection of 25 bourbon experiences. And one of the cool bourbon experiences on the Beeline that kicks it off 100% is where is it? It should be, oh, come on. I saw the picture of it. All right, come on. Did mine not cover it? Why is that not in there? All right, the Beeline. Did I miss it? I must. Oh, come on. But Revival Spirits in is part of the Beeline. And it's really kind of cool. That's one of my favorite places we've had Brad Bonds on twice because we've gone down there and podcasted from down there. But do I really have to look harder in the magazine? And then also Kentucky Bourbon Festival 13th through 15th. Tickets go on sale April 17th. Make sure that you sign up to be a Bourbon Insider at the website. Oh, right on the first freaking page. There it is. Revival Spirits and Brad Bond. I mean, I guess I didn't realize it was getting that. It goes my two favorite things. It goes Kentucky Bourbon Festival, and then you've been waiting for Pursuit Spirits, and then also Revival. I'm going to put on for this. That is a really cool picture, but it's like, I'm going to put on the glasses real quick and read this. It's like, let the spirits move you. Part museum, part speakeasy, part unicorn bottle honey hole. Revival Vintage Spirits and Bottle Shop in Covington, Kentucky has captured the hearts of bourbon lovers in the know. Pursue in the know. Peruse their collections of rare and vintage bottles, then belly up to the bar to taste a flight tailored to your taste buds. It's really kind of cool. Revival is a great place. Treasures Untold. In addition to the array of dusty bottles and intriguing containers from the past, Revival Vintage Spirits and Bottle Shop has amassed a collection of unbelievable decanters, mostly from the late 1960s to the early 1980s, depicting politics, Americana, and more. There's also a gleaming Remy King Louis VIII bottle and display case that looks like a museum centerpiece. Yep, and the old tailors he's got there is insane. Vintage bottles and the Vintage Bottle Shop includes not only all manner of global whiskey and bourbon, but also a great selection of other spirits categories. The taste menu includes 5 of the shop's barrel picks, each at $5 a pour, as well as a lengthy list of pours that stretch back in time into the early 20th century and varying in price points. With one at $100, it may cost you, but it's an experience you won't forget. I mean, that's just freaking awesome. The pictures, pick up your, Bourbon Plus. Let's see, is there one more? Nope. That was it. But congratulations, Brad Bonds. Some of the stuff that I've tasted there has been absolutely amazing. Me and CT make it a stop on our way down or our way back every time. Brad and Shannon there in Covington, they are working on getting their space next to the Covington Hotel, getting ready with a cigar